But anyway, thank you, members of council and administration. So I will look at roll call. I think all members. Let's see. I think Councillor Altenhoff is not on.
He's coming online right now.
Okay. Oh, there he is. All right, thank you. I think we're all set to go. Roll call. Members of council are all present. So I will call the meeting to order. To the members, any disclosure of pecuniary interest on the agenda as presented to you this evening or this afternoon? I see no hands up, so we'll have that duly noted. The introduction and purpose of our meeting this afternoon is to hear public comment on a zoning bylaw amendment application for a 1.09 hectare, 2.7 acre property situated on the north side of North Talbot Road, abutting the west side of Weston Park, known as 5074 North Talbot Road. The purpose of the proposed amendment is to rezone the subject property from agricultural zone A-33 to Hamlet Residential Zone RH in order to facilitate the creation of one new residential lot and the future construction of one single unit dwelling. So I'll call upon our Director of Planning, but I believe it's the Manager of Planning. He's going to bring this forward, Mr. Jeffries.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening, members of council. Sean, if you could please turn it to attachment 1. This just shows the subject property. It's a 1.09 hectare parcel outlined in red there on the west side of Weston Park, on the north side of North Talbot Road. Attachment 2, please. The surrounding area is a mix of agricultural and residential primarily. To the north are lands that are currently farmed but are designated and zoned for residential, and there's a draft plan of subdivision for those lands that is soon to be submitted. Beyond that is the former railway lands in County Road 46. To the east is Weston Park, beyond which are a tier of residential, long, narrow residential lots that extend all the way to the 9th concession further to the east. On the south side of North Talbot Road is another single tier of residential lots. Of interest is an Avatar, which is located approximately 270 meters to the southeast of the subject property. And I should note that the subject property is within the Oldcastle settlement area. Attachment 3, please, Sean. So in June of this year, the Committee of Adjustment granted provisional consent to the subject property to create a 1.4 acre lot, which is identified as a severed parcel here and outlined in red. And that left a retained lot of approximately 1.37 acres containing an existing house. One of the conditions of that severance was to rezone the subject property in its entirety, both the retained and severed parcels, from agricultural zone A-33 to Hamlet Residential RH zone. And that's why we're here tonight, to hear from any interested stakeholders on that rezoning in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act. The provincial policy statement establishes that development is to be directed toward settlement areas such as the Oldcastle settlement area. The County of Essex official plan reiterates that direction. And this, again, is identified as a settlement area in the county official plan. The Tecumseh official plan, and Sean, if you can turn it to attachment 4, please, identifies the property as residential. And again, it's encouraging the creation of residential lots within that designation. Subject to addressing the amendment procedures outlined in 10.18 of the new official plan, the proposed rezoning would conform to the official plan. And I'll just quickly take you through those. Now, the criteria are the degree of conformity with the plan. In our report, we note that it conforms to the official plan and to the provincial policy statements. The compatibility of the proposed zoning bylaw amendment and the subject property with surrounding lands, given that the majority of the lands in the area are residential and there's a park adjacent to it, We would argue that it's compatible with the surrounding area. The ability of the town's infrastructure to accommodate the proposed severance, the infrastructure that the current level of infrastructure can accommodate the request. It will be on a septic system until such time as sanitary sewers are extended to this property. And I understand that that is between 5 and 10 years from now. And finally, the criteria that the adequacy of the transportation system to accommodate the proposal. And it's on a municipal standard road. We have no concerns with the transportation infrastructure accommodating it. So given that, it's our opinion that it's consistent with the provincial policy statement, it conforms to the official plan, and we're supportive of the proposed rezoning to change it from agricultural A-33 to Hamlet residential RH. Mr. Mayor, those are my comments, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that council may have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jeffrey. Any questions or comments to the manager? Yes, Councilor Jobin.
Thank you, through Mr. Mayor, to Mr. Jeffries. Just some things that have come up when the posting was first put forward would be the drainage and flow down into Western Park. There is the walkable tree line there. And so some area residents were concerned about the height of the raised property that will now be developed. Just their concern is that the flow of their water is not going to potentially cause any issues or stagnant puddles or ponding onto the lower area of the walkway.
Mr. Mayor, to Councilor Jobin, any development that occurs on the property would have to conform to the municipality's lot and grading plan. That would be reviewed by the chief building official. We don't anticipate any drainage issues with respect to any development on this land. Having said that, John Henderson, the town's engineer, is on the meeting tonight. If he would like to add any comments with respect to that question.
Thank you, through you, your worship. The Shuttleworth drain runs along the road right in front of this property. That drain is currently being improved under a new municipal drainage report. I think it's right now going through the PIC before it gets brought back to council for consideration. So as Chad mentioned, with the drainage requirements that will be enforced by the municipal building department, improvements to the Shuttleworth drain, I don't really foresee any issues with drainage for this proposal.
Okay, thank you.
Deputy Mayor Bichetti.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to follow up with Councillor Jobin's inquiry, in terms of the drainage, I too got some concerns regarding that property there. There was some infilling and the land was raised. So in terms of, I know it's abutting Weston Park, maybe if you can clarify, Chad, or through the building department, once it goes to residential, you need to take out a permit, and like besides lot grading, the permit holder has to retain their own water. So again, if there's, in terms of whatever plan comes forward, if it's a single family residential, if there's a possibility for valley, or they'd have to see, to build a retaining wall. But I think that's in the future, correct? In terms of dealing with those issues.
Through Mr. Mayor, that's correct. Those issues would be addressed at the time of the review of the building permit application. And you're right. Any stormwater that falls on the property have to be maintained on that property until it's properly conveyed to the outletting drain.
Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? All right. Okay, so if there's none there, then we do have number one, communication piece to deal with. So if I could have a motion to receive the communication. Councilor Houston, Councilor All in favor? Opposed, carried. And on G, we have the report of the zoning bylaw amendment condition of consent application B-10 /21 Linda Dano, 5074 North Talbot Road, scheduling of a public meeting. Okay, Councilor Altenhoff and Deputy Mayor Buchetti. Moved and supported. Any further questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. If there's no further comments from administration or from council, then adjournment is proper and in order. Councilor Tonio, moved and supported by Councilor Houston. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That is carried. Thank you very much.